drawing, sculpturing, decorating, arts and crafts, textile and felt processing, hunting, falconry, smithworks and jewelry take care of our national identity in the KazArt program.
Kazakh Jibek бұл тарихи жанрдағы көптеген туындылардың авторы. Мысалы
Kazakh Jibek authored various works in the historical genre. For example, in this work here called Adiraspan Peganam, he resolved the composition using the monumental approach. Depicting the sacred Kazakh plant Peganam required some artistic ingenuity to help the artist to communicate its special place. Shot from down under the heroes appeared to be grand and high-spirited in their aspirations. In this work, the artist falls back upon the symbolism and allegoric associations and delivers a traditional yet fresh interpretation of the Kazakh history.
Туындысын арқылы суретші қазақтың тарихын өздігінше интерпретация жасайды.
Working in the historical genre is one of the most arduous ones. Researching the historical facts takes prolonged periods of time. The increased pressure to deliver something of spiritual, educational, and historical value is there as well. Such passing on works depicting the golden era that our young country is going through right now is paramount. Too many important facts were discovered in the annals of your history after we received independence. Sadly, only the fraction of it has been put on canvas and needs more extensive work. To mend this gap, the state annually organizes various artistic competitions among the historical artists.
Біздің Әбілхан Қасиев атындағы өнер музейі көптеген жобалар ұйымдастырады. Мысалы 2012 жылғы
Multiple artistic competitions and festivals take place on the museum's grounds. For example, in 2012, we hosted the massive The Kazakh Epic Songs History and Traditions Festival. This year, when the whole country is celebrating the independence anniversary, we are delighted to announce another substantial initiative. The venerable dream about freedom is expected to stir up hefty response from the artistic community, especially those who create in the historical and monumental genres. The participants are to illustrate the previously unknown pages of our history, be it through the depiction of the unacknowledged head figures, memories about who the older generation can share, or the scenic images of the events long forgotten.
Халықтың жадында сақталған тұлғалардың бейнелеу, образын бейнелеп көрсету.
Ahmet Baytursinov, the prominent member of the Kazakh intelligentsia, used to say that the printed word is the nation's eyes, ears, and tongue. Akin to the newspapers and books, the works of oil paint and brushes have a lot to offer. Their ability to stir feelings as well as teach the observer something good, something spiritual, is unequivocal.
Бейнелеу өнер саласында шығармашылық адамдары еркіндікке бой ұрады. Осыған дейін мысалы еркін қалам тарта алмаған тақырып.
It is not a secret that artists always clam for freedom of expression. What was actual before is now open for interpretation, and the artists are taking up this opportunity quickly. Expressing your perception of the historical events, all the hardships, famines, wars, forced translocation, change of lifestyle, change of power, the exodus of honor with its batirs, khans, and bees, as well as the great victories in the battles for freedom, equality, and peace, was a great motivation for the artists to work, and they worked energetically, digging deeper into the bed of history. Having found new and old facts, songs, traditions, and elements of our essence, they plunged into creation.
Соны эпостық жырларға бүкіл ұлттық дүниетанымды танытатын туындылар туындап бастайды.
This competitive base of the initiative has proved to drive up the aesthetic and factual quality of the submitted works and inevitably create a healthier environment for for the genre to develop in.
Суретшілер, мүсіншілер тарихымызды жаңаша саралап, ең жоғарғы
Deliver high-quality work, be it sculptures or oil paintings, the artist needs a good foundation of knowledge. Scavenging historical books, original materials, old illustrations, and audio records of the memories of the older generation is expected to help them build a strong factual base, distinguish between several battles, and pinpoint personal characteristics of the leaders. Even the clothing and interior decorations are expected to be true to the time and hence require pervasive research. As a way of helping the artist, we conduct meet-up sessions between the artist and the historians who can relay the sequence of events and suggest books that describe them in depth to the artist. Among the most recommended books are Yesin Berlin's The Nomads, Jumadilov's Darabos. The works based on these books somehow turn out to be more profound and rich. A lot of discoveries lie in the realm of archives. The heaps of old documents and witnesses of the time lay unearthed in the storage rooms and wait for the next hungry researcher. In the course of the research, ethnographers found out that in the 4th and 5th century, a piece of black cloth used to be tied around the spear's head, located on the right side of the entrance of the mourning house. Juma Khan Mirza Ahmet used this long-lost tradition to depict a scene from the period of famine in this painting.
Bundağı mынау бірінші қалыпты орманға теңедім. Қырқылып жатқан ағаштар, аштан қырылған қалық. Төңкеріліп жатқан қазан ол аштықтың белгісі. 7 оқ киелі қазаққа онда байланған 3 түрлі түсті.
In this piece, I compared the diminished people to the forest that has been cut. The toppled cauldron represents the absence of food. 7 sticks also represent the sacred number 7. Depending on the age of the deceased, the color of the wrapping clothes changes. Red for the people between 13 and 25, black for the people under 60, white for the dead between 60 and 100. This is how the color of the cloth for the spear was picked as well. Remaining in the front door for the next year, the spear was to notify those who don't know about the grief in the family to stop by and give prayers. Thus the cloth and the spear were used as a means of communication. The 2 torches were meant to be reminded about the past and forecast a brighter future. The richer people could afford to keep the torches lit throughout the next year, while the poor only lit the torches for 40 days.
Ұрпақтарға мәңгілік есте қалу үшін. Ұрпақ жалғастығы, шам, жарық, екі шырақ жағатын болған. Мысалы, бай болған жаңа байлар 1 жылға дейін шырақ жағып қоятын болған қара үйге, қайтыс болған. Енді кедейлер болса сол 40 күн өткенге дейін жағатын болған.
With the help of the initiative from 2012, the funds of the museum were replenished with new outstanding works, all of them hung in the Hall of the Modern Historical Art of the Kazakh National Museum, showing bright and clear how the nation has suffered and rejoiced over the course of several centuries while growing and changing.
Ғасырлар бойы бабаларымыздың басынан өткен тарихтың әрбір кезеңі, әрбір беті ол ерекше үлкен құбылыс. Бір үшін маңызды себебі өзіміздің бүгінгі күніміз үшін және болашағымыз үшін одан ары нығая даму үшін біздің өзіміздің өткен тарих.
Understanding what, when, and why happened to our ancestors is of high importance for us today. Developing and growing without knowing where we were before is impossible. Understanding who we are, what makes us special, what our mission and philosophy are without looking into the pages of our history is insurmountable. That is why the modern artist needs to zoom into the days and lives of the past and bring them into the light of our views. Right now, we only own the works that depict the Soviet era of our development as a nation. To combat this, last year we organized a sizable exhibition devoted to the celebration of the 550th anniversary of the Kazakh Khanate. In the course of the preparation for the exhibition, we realized that we don't have the works describing that period. Everything we had was the works of the social realism school, however exalted, irrelevant to our cause. Then we understood that organization of the events that will gather the young generation of the artists who will recreate the events of the pre-Soviet era is absolutely necessary. We want our visitors, both young and old, to be able to learn and enjoy the scenes from our great ancient history and appreciate the field of art and composition.
Бүгінгі таңда осы біз бүгінгі жобаны ұйымдастырудың басты мақсаты сол. Яғни музейге келген, кез келген өзіміздің жас ұрпақтан, мысалы балабақшада, мектеп қабырғасындағы оқушылардың өзіміздің тарихты таныстыратын көркем визуалды бізде композициялар қажет.
The historical genre's main goal and plotting technique is very similar to that of the battle genre. Both employ the realistic approach to depiction, i.e., any subject or scene that needs to be drawn is drawn according to all the rules of realism and requires a lot from the artist. Only the most experienced in the rules of realism can create a historical or battle work that grabs the observer's attention. Thanks to similar initiatives, a lot of modern artists came into their professional being. Kazakh Jibek, Dosbol Kasimov, Nakhidjan Mirzakhmetov, Dauren Kasteyev, Manat Kaspak, Talgat Lyuzhan, Mirjan Nurgozhi, Kumar Omar Khan shone bright on the artistic stage. They're the new breath of the Kazakh historical art, its new historians.
Соғыс тақырыбында сурет салу үшін енді ол алдымен кішкене жобасын жасап алу керек, неше түрлі алайда салу керек, бұлайда салу керек, іздену керек, ол үшін компоновкасын дұрыстап қою керек.
Before putting the brush to the canvas, you need to do your homework. You create the blueprints. It goes through multiple iterations of corrections. Sometimes, if I see mishaps, I introduce changes while painting is in progress. After multiple attempts, the blueprint is ready to be painted. This process is very long and tedious. That's why you don't see many artists working on the battle scenes.
Енді соғыс тақырыбында көп бара бермейді енді. Көп суретшілер. Оған көп қажырлық керек, көп іздену керек.
Despite being young, Almas Orakhbay can't help but notice how more and more national identifiers get lost from the picture in real life. His works like Kumir, the life, Sagim, the missed one, Shapan, the Chapan, were created as drawings with a peculiar composition aimed to capture the obsolete elements of our culture.
21 ғасырдың жаңа бағыттарын саралай келе, өзінің ізденіс үстінде жүрген өзінің шығармашылығына жаңа.
The oeuvre of this young artist is very peculiar. Almas Orakhbay seems to have chosen his own path in art, where he follows the modern trends and tries to incorporate them into his work and succeeds at that. His Gumir, the life piece, shows a figure of a male drawn as if my drops of paint dripping from the tube in careless brush strokes. This technique conveys the ephemeral nature of life, where life appears and disappears in the matter of moments. Just like the generation before us, we will disappear, and this work is Almas's way to show reverence to all those who existed before. With that, he, however, proceeds to show their heritage, now ignored and downplayed in this work called Zhurt, the sheeple. Almas shows empathy towards the jewel of ancient that we have left nowadays in his every work. Through the means of postmodernism in his works, he invites everybody to preserve the little pieces of history he has collected and scoured to pass on to the next generation. In his Shilde, July, he shows the naked body of a youngster running in the field of grain. Followed by a foggy dark gray horizon, the main subject runs happily screaming, causes multiple questions in the observer. Realized in the graphics genre, the observer can see a herd of horses in the background. We could speculate his contrast. Almas wanted to tell us about the heightened level of misunderstanding between people. To be fair, people and interpersonal relationships is his second favorite theme. A lot of loneliness and its devastating consequences to the human soul are present in his works. In the independent country of Kazakhstan, the art of expressing oneself on canvas has grown in leaps and bounds. Here in the exhibition hall of the museum, you can see the results of the profound work of both the curators and the artists. Hopefully these paintings will familiarize the art lovers with the simple yet precious treasure of remembering your own roots. Agimsal Duzelkhanov's Kambar Batir, Nurlan's Kalibayev's, Jiti Kazna, Talgat Lyuzhanov's Bayan, Kazakh Jibek Uli Adiraspan, Bakit Murzahmet's Khan Koteru pieces are to pick interest and pride as well as the urge to liven up the traditions.